This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
And I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
We also, James, packed house behind me tonight. If you hear children or see weird things, that's what's up. So
you have a studio audience. Oh no,
our
Hub on Hollywood sign.
Oh, Nicholas.
We are now Hollywood. Now we're just Hollywood.
Now we're just, yeah. Oh well.
Well, it's you have a live studio audience, so that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. This is in our age of Corona, we're all home with our families and our kids and our cats and whatnot. So things are bound to happen.
Yeah, I'm a little more. Yeah, my cat, she's asleep in the next bedroom, so hopefully I don't wake her up because there'll be hell to pay if I wake her up.
Yeah, that would be more chill. See, I would be a little more concerned if you had a Hub on Hollywood in the background and your cat just tore it to pieces. It'd be like, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that did not happen already.
Oh really?
Equipment-wise.
JB, no.
I know, but she's good now.
Oh my goodness.
She's asleep, so hopefully she does not interrupt this Hub on Hollywood. But this is going to be another jam-packed, fun one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
a lot
excited.
of good things to talk about.
What are we talking about today, James?
So today we have news regarding the sequel to Venom. We have a release date, and we also get a release date that's been pushed back, of course, like many other films. And we also get the title of the sequel for Venom, and I think it's pretty interesting.
Exciting.
We'll talk about
Exciting.
our thoughts on that. Princess Bride, the Princess Bride iconic classic film coming to Disney Plus in a matter of days. Days, I tell you. We have a review of The Witcher. You can't wait?
Yes. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have the review of The Witcher on Netflix. I've seen a few episodes, but it sounds like you may have steamed right through it, so we'll be talking about that. Also, the production company A24, they are auctioning movie props from some of their biggest films, and the proceeds will be going to help those who've been impacted by COVID-19. So, jam-packed episode this week.
That's right. But first. What have we got first on the list?
Well, yeah, we have a Venom sequel. It's coming out. We have a release date. Now, it was supposed to be coming out on, I think, October 2nd, but now like many other films already, it's been pushed back.
That's
all the way to June 25th of 2021.
Oh,
and
that's
so,
crazy. So,
quite
James,
the pushback.
How do you feel about that? Movies all the way at the end of this year are being delayed and pushed back. So is 2020 a complete wash?
For the most part, it is. There were a lot of films that were supposed to be coming out, especially at the end of this year, that have just been, the whole board has been wiped clean. And, it's not to anyone's surprise for this film in particular, they had production issues, and so it's not a done film, so they still need some work to do on it before it can come out. So unfortunately, that is, that's actually one of the surprising films of the year. I wasn't expecting a lot of good things from Venom. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on a plane, but I was actually impressed, and it did receive a good amount of positive reviews after it came out. So it's coming out, June 2021. Woody Harrelson is going to be playing the villain, and that
Woody
leads
Harrelson.
to the discussion. Yeah, the discussion of the title, because I take it you didn't see Venom.
I did see Venom, James. I did see Venom.
So at the very end,
I was not. Go ahead. Sorry.
At the very end, they had a cutscene where it pretty much teased the next would-be film, and of course that film got approved because it made so much money. But Woody Harrelson playing the character Cletus Cassidy, and for those who are familiar with the Spider-Man, lore and whatnot, he turns into Carnage when a symbiote takes over his body, and so he's going to be playing Carnage, and that leads to our title, the release for the sequel, Venom dash Let There Be Carnage. And I think it's
I love it.
Yeah, it's a decent title, but it's very on the nose. It's like, okay, Carnage is going to be in this movie. So, but again, that's not a surprise to anybody.
I think a lot of people love Carnage, and he's one of those real classic villains from comic books. So I think when Venom came out, I think a lot of people were looking for that classic Carnage character, and I think they're trying to capitalize that. So on that, so I think that's why the title is a little bit like right on the nose.
Yeah.
What title would you have liked to have seen?
Well, I don't know. Venom into the Carnage verse. No, I'm kidding. No, but
Yeah.
now I'm curious because in the first Venom, and now it's been out for like a year now, so we can talk about it. But in the first Venom, they have this other symbiote that takes over the villain's, the main boss bad guy character. They take him over, and I think, what was the name of that monster or that symbiote? It's slipping my mind, but in that movie we had a symbiote on symbiote fight, and it looks like for the sequel we're gonna have another symbiote versus symbiote fight. And so I think that not only are they leaning into the heavy love of the character Carnage, but I think they're gonna also have to rely on a different villain to come in and to spice things up, because or else it's just gonna be another film of two symbiotes, one black and one red globs fighting each other. And so I think they want to avoid that. And so I think the best way to solve that problem would be to add in another villain or a different, maybe a possible anti-hero like Black Cat or maybe even the Punisher coming in. That would be interesting. That would be a big deal.
And so who's the Punisher?
So the Punisher, in this universe, they haven't, cast that, and they haven't said, as far as I know, that the Punishers would be in the sequel. But I think to keep it alive and to, avoid that, blob versus blob fight again, they can add in the Punisher to, add that extra third element.
Okay, so I did watch Venom, James, the first time around, and I gotta say, I wasn't that impressed. I know it made a lot of money. And Tom Hardy was hilarious and great in it. But it's exactly like you said, that blob on blob fight. Like the fight, there was so much CGI, and the story didn't feel real. Like, I could see how it's just an entertaining movie, but the way that they wrote the female character in that movie, like, just, it made my... Sorry about that, I dropped you.
It made your phone fall.
It made my phone fall. It kind of made my skin crawl, like, no pun intended, or pun intended. It made my skin crawl a little bit. It's because that female character was so two-dimensional, and there was just one fight in particular, I think when they were in the police station, and she's like, it's like, hey, look, there's a blob monster over there killing everyone. Let me just casually walk over, and then let me just, I don't know, I just didn't feel like there was real emotion there. But it's a Venom movie. It's for fun, right? So I'm excited to see if maybe the next one's a little better.
I'm still not entirely convinced that I like the casting of Woody Harrelson. Now, Woody Harrelson, he's a great actor, but I think just the way they revealed him at the end of Venom, like it literally looked like the director told some PA assistant or anything just to run to the back of the shed and get the first red wig you can find and put it on Woody's head, because it looked like a comically the wig looked comical. And so that didn't entirely sell me with him being, cast as Carnage. But I've been wrong before. I thought that Venom wouldn't have been as entertaining as it is, and it was.
But Woody Harrelson, comedic actor. I remember him from the what's that? The '90s movie. With the British spy, the British agent. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my brain?
You're not thinking of Austin Powers,
what'd you say? Austin Powers, yes, I remember Woody Harrelson
wasn't
from
in Austin Powers, was he?
He was. He did a cameo in Austin Powers, and that's like the only one of the only things I remember him in. It was when they were doing all of the let's say body part puns, and it's like Woody Harrelson, and then he signs the autograph, and then they're like, "Oh, it looks like a giant pecker," That's neither here nor that's neither here nor there. But he's a comedic actor, James. So we'll see. It could be really great, or it could be really terrible.
Yeah, those are the two options, or there's really no in between. Now I'm looking up the character's name right now because I'm trying to. It's killing me. Riz Ahmed, he played Carlton Drake, and the villain was, and it's not even showing it. That's a fail. But again, Venom being pushed back from October 2nd to all the way to 2021 in June. And Andy Serkis, apparently he's directing Venom 2. Andy Serkis of Lord of the Rings fame and everything else.
Really?
And Marvel. Yeah, so I think that's really great. He has to have some sort of cameo or role where he plays some other glob or goo.
Andy Serkis of Gollum fame. Also, he was not Thanos. He was Snoke. He played Snoke in the new Star Wars trilogy.
He was in the MCU.
He was in the MCU. He was in the Black Panther movie. He was the villain in the Black Panther movie. I adore him and everything that he's ever done, Andy Serkis. So that gives me a lot more hope for the Venom movie. That alone. Mm-hmm. And he knows how to do villains. He knows how to do anti-heroes. So looking forward to Andy Serkis directing Venom 2.
All right. Well, everybody who's tuned into this week's episode, thank you so much for continuing to watch or listen to us. We are on YouTube, so if you are watching, please comment down below. What do you think about Venom's title, Venom, Let There Be Carnage? Is it too on the nose? Is it, just perfect for a popcorn-eating flick? And if you are not watching us on YouTube, you can listen to us on any major streaming podcast service. We are on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, podcasts. The list goes on. And so we're on that. So we're also on social media. Everywhere.
Yeah. So smash the like, share, retweet. Don't just like us either. I want some retweets, people. So help us out. We love you. And show us some love. And we'll keep putting this together. It's a wonderful time to just sit back, relax, listen to us talk about some happy things in the world. So, and among those happy things, if you were stuck in home and you've got nothing else to do, so much entertainment on these streaming services. Whether you're signed up for one or all of them, but there's something very, very exciting coming on May 1st.
Yeah, not a minute too soon. So the 1987 film classic, The Princess Bride, is coming to Disney Plus. Big shocker, but it's about time. And did you see how the news was revealed?
I did not. How was it revealed?
So Robin Wright and Carrie Lewis, they came back and they FaceTimed. Pretty much, they did a FaceTime video with each other, talking about, where have you been and whatnot. And they both, said while they are under quarantine, they are watching a lot of stuff. And one thing that you can watch is The Princess Bride coming to Disney Plus on May 1st. So that was really nice to see both of them, Princess Buttercup and blanking on his name.
Wesley.
Yes. So that was good to see them both on screen together, albeit very far away from each other, but on the same screen. Yeah. So that was nice.
Disney and their marketing, they are, geniuses. They are absolute geniuses when it comes to that. And adapting in these crazy times, like you said, with this FaceTime video between Princess Buttercup and her Wesley, her farm boy, poor but perfect. How could you not love The Princess Bride? It is a classic of classics, a tale of true love and pirates and fights and, and it's just amazing. And it's just amazing. So one of the best feel-good movies, I think, out there, now going to be available on Disney Plus. I think it's definitely worth the $6.99. Not that I don't work for Disney, okay? I'm just at home and I need content to get me through. But one of the most quotable movies of all time, for sure. Inconceivable, My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die.
There's that's again, just speaking about streaming services in general. I wanted to ask you, what have you been streaming recently? Just because for myself, I've been binging Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Hulu, and also Barry, which is on HBO, but you can watch it via Hulu also. So Barry, starring Bill Hader, Henry Winkler, where he plays this hitman, but also wants to be an actor. So he's going to acting school or taking acting classes, and Henry Winkler is the teaching coach. And so that show in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I've just been binging and really good.
Oh yeah. So I've been watching. Let's see. I went back and I watched a few feel good classics. I watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Nice.
That was fantastic, highly watchable. I've been going through and I've been catching up on Marvel movies that I haven't seen. I hadn't seen Doctor Strange. I didn't see Thor: Dark World, so I went and I watched those. So I'm catching up on all of my
What do you
filling
think
in the
of
gaps.
Thor in the Dark World?
It was too dark.
Right?
It was.
No, like it was like literally also too dark. Like a lot of the scenes were so saturated.
Yeah, you could barely see it. Yeah. So no, definitely not my favorite. And it was, thematically and visually too dark. Thor Ragnarok, I've said it before, one of the most watchable, my pick for most watchable Marvel movies, so I watched that a couple more times too. And I've gotten into Community, which is a show from back in the early 2000s. Getting back into that, and I watched Messiah. We watched all of Messiah. I'm not going to get into that one today, but that's an excellent show on Netflix to watch. But the one that I really plowed through and I was really excited about and I want to talk to you about today is The Witcher. Have you seen The Witcher,
Yes.
James?
So I've seen 4 episodes, and I did enjoy that. I thought the CGI, especially for the first episode, the CGI is really great. And Henry Cavill, need I say more? Henry Cavill, and he from the 4 episodes I've watched, what I've learned is that he hunts monsters, and apparently he hates wearing shirts because he has a lot of shirtless scenes.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, especially if you look like him.
Right. Well,
So-
it's go ahead. So,
Did you watch the whole
Witcher,
season?
I did. I plowed through the whole season. It was very watchable. Again, just very watchable and fun. It's a dark fantasy adapted from a book and a video game. I think people were a little bit nervous to see what the show would be like, but I think in general the reviews have been positive from those fans of the previous Witcher content. But it's great. I think it's a great in between from like Game of Thrones and then something a little cheesier. Like, I don't know if you've seen the British show Merlin.
No.
It has like kind of cheesy graphics, but it's just fantasy and it's a little lighter. So I think it's a nice in between. I think it's a nice in between like Game of Thrones and Merlin with a little bit of the visual effects budget is obviously not that of Game of Thrones, but it's still good enough. You know what I mean? And I think it's more fun. It's more lighthearted. There are a lot more lighthearted moments than there are in Game of Thrones. It's not like this super serious series that like drags you in. So you've got comedy, you've got plenty of sex scenes, you've got shirtless Henry Cavill, you've got blood and gore, you've got monsters, you've got all of this stuff, but it's not overdone. I don't think any of it's overdone, and you get, it's a nice balance. I think they strike a nice balance with the show, and it keeps you engaged throughout the whole thing. There's also great music. There's a minstrel, I suppose, who follows Geralt of Rivia around. He is the titular Witcher, and the music's actually good. This poor guy, like, they make fun of him the whole show, and he's actually a good singer. And there's one in particular that's been stuck in my head for weeks. It goes, toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley. Yeah, I'm gonna start my singing career
Witcher
after
band?
this. Yeah, my own Witcher band.
Now,
Go ahead.
Let me ask. So, now I again, admittedly, have only seen 4 episodes, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's not a linear season, right? There's a little
Correct.
jumping back and forth. Did you realize that was happening, or were you kind of lost for a bit?
Yeah, once you get a few episodes in, you realize that we are not on the same timeline. There are actually 3 separate timelines that we're following in the show. And so this is a non-spoiler review. We're going to keep it that way. But this is not a spoiler. Yes, there are 3 different timelines. And so I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the show, because as you're following along, you're like, wait a minute, but this happened in the first episode, but now we're back here. This happened way before the first episode, and then this happened after the first episode. So our 3 timelines that we're following are Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher, Yennefer, who is a mage, a witch in this show, and she's spectacular. And Ciri, who's a young girl and princess who somehow is connected to Geralt of Rivia, and you figure out what that is, as the show goes along. So we're following these three different characters, one who is a lot older than the others. So, Geralt of Rivia, I believe the director has said, by the time we meet him in the first episode, he's already 100 years old. And then we're following the story of Yennefer, this mage, who may be even more, several hundreds of years old before then. So we don't know how old exactly she is, but we get a lot of the history of this world from her. And then Ciri, who is the young princess, and, obviously the youngest, and her timeline is what's happening in the present day. And eventually we get to the present day. And I gotta say, the casting is phenomenal. I don't know what you think about Yennefer, but you don't know what to think. You don't know if she's the good guy, if she's the bad guy, or what's going on, but it's obvious that none of these characters is perfect, and it's perfect just that way. So I don't know. What did you think of the characters?
And Yennefer's the one with the hunchback, right?
Yes, she starts as the hunchback, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she starts, and I know that she starts that, and I've seen memes, and so I understand there's, I wouldn't say anything, but I've seen other stuff, but yeah, she's a hunchback, and at first, I mean, of course, how can you not have sympathy for this poor young woman who seems to be taken from her very terrible situation that she had set up already. But no, again, she was great. Henry Cavill, I'm actually a really big fan. And, bless him for his work as Superman, but I think he's been in so many other great films that, and including the TV series The Witcher, that he doesn't get enough credit for. And not to change topics, but for those listening, if you're a big Henry Cavill fan and you want more Henry Cavill in your life, you need to watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He starred with Army Hammer, and this is a movie about like 1960s CIA spy flick, but The Man from U.N.C.L.E. does not get enough love. I was hoping that there would have been a sequel, but no, alas, no. But yeah, Henry Cavill.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yes, yeah, write that down. Very good. Yeah, so it came out in. It was directed by Guy Ritchie. CIA agent Napoleon Solo and KGB operative participate in a joint mission against a mysterious criminal organization which is working to proliferate nuclear weapons. And so it's a very fun, campy, not cheesy, but campy enough, spy flick. It reminds me of like the old days of spy flicks. So does not get enough love. But Henry Cavill, really, in anything he's in, I'll be willing to sit down and watch it. Again, not because he's mostly shirtless a lot of the time in his life, but because he's a really good actor too.
Yes, he is. So,
and apparently he was a big fan of The Witcher video game and the novel growing up.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
Yeah, and so he's been, there are interviews of him before gushing about how much he loves the role and the world, and so, it's good to have somebody who has such admiration for the work to actually be, playing the lead.
Absolutely, and it comes through. It absolutely comes through. And God, he loves that wig too, that big white wig. I mean, he just owns it. He's very, very believable as Geralt of Rivia, and you can tell how much fun he's having. And I love that kind of character. They're like gruff on the outside, but ooey gooey on the inside. And there's a term for that.
Did your husband have to cover your eyes during the shirtless scenes?
No. We both enjoyed it. But no, there's a term for that in Japanese anime. It's called souvenir. Who's it's someone who's very rough on the outside, but they have a gooey center, and so that's what I enjoy about this character too. It's not just a two-dimensional character. There's more going on there. It's just a little darker. It's just a little darker than a normal storyline like that. So, yes, toss a coin to your Witcher and a view.
Well, after I binge Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Barry, I'll try to dive back into The Witcher. Again, the first 4 episodes were really good, and I thought they kicked off with episode 1 to a very strong start. So I wouldn't mind picking that up again.
Absolutely.
All right, so now that we have The Witcher under our belts and in our playlist for movies to watch soon, talking about the world, we can't ignore it. We're still dealing with the effects of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. For example, we are working from home, but it's great to see, for every bad story that we hear, something great that happens out of it. And one of the great things, and one of the best ways that Hollywood is stepping up is A24, the production company. They have coming out with an auction, with several auctions over several days, where they're raising money to help those who've been negatively affected by the virus, including communities and those who are working on the front lines. This is according to IndieWire. The indie production company and distributor announced a new auction to benefit various charities. Items for the auction are from movies and TV shows, include Euphoria, Mid-90s, Eighth Grade, Hereditary, Uncut Gems, The Lighthouse, a lot of their big top-tier films that they came out in the past couple years. And so 100% of the proceeds are going to be donated to one of 4 charities in New York. I saw a quote from somebody with A24 talking about how much they work in New York, and so appreciation for the people and the frontline workers. So they'll be donating to FDNY Foundation, Food Bank for NYC, NYC Health and Hospitals, as well as Queens Community House. And some of the items that you Jamie, can buy an auction and bid for. Yeah. Some of those items include Florence Pugh's flower dress in Midsummer. You need to go if you haven't seen the flower dress in Midsummer. Google it. It's a beautiful dress, and so that could be yours. Also, Euphoria, Zendaya's character. I guess she wears a purple hoodie, and that's up for auction. Do you watch
Zendaya.
Euphoria? I like Zendaya.
I have. Yeah, I love Zendaya. Anything Zendaya, I'm all for it. We'll see about the disposable income part, but anything Zendaya, I think that's worth getting.
Yeah. So after that, we have The Lighthouse. You can buy a carved wooden mermaid that was used in The Lighthouse, possibly held by what's his name, Robert Pattinson, or I'm blanking on his name right now. Well, yeah. Anyways, it's a very cool thing. In Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler movie, you can either get Dina's prom dress or Kevin Garnett's Celtics jersey that was filmed in there, or that was used in the film. The auctions are April 27th, May 4th, and May 11th. Now, let me ask you, Jamie, if you could buy any movie prop in history, what movie prop would it be, and what is your highest bid? So
it has to be.
Say the item. I'll start the bidding, and we'll see how far how you go.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. You know what I need to have, James? The movie prop that I would most adore is Indiana Jones's hat. Indiana Jones's his hat from the films. I need to have it.
Okay.
Love it,
so the bidding starts at $500.
Oh God, James.
How much would you be willing to bid for Indiana Jones's hat?
If I can take some money out of some other places. Let's go with my firstborn. Here you go, have him.
I'm sure Nikki has a piggy bank, right?
Nikki, how much money's in your piggy bank, buddy? Can I borrow some? No? If we're talking real dollars here, yeah, I've got some retirement I can take out, a little bit.
Nikki doesn't need to go to college, right?
I don't see my new piggy bank.
You don't see your new piggy bank? It's okay, I'll help you find it.
Okay, so what I would do, I was actually very close to you. I was actually thinking Indiana Jones also, but the gold statue in the first one.
Oh, right here. We're right here, Rolas.
Yeah. Exactly. So that would have been my number one. Because how cool would that be to look if I had this right here, just on a shelf floating? Either that.
Yes, with spotlights on it.
Yeah, that or Luke Skywalker's, A New Hope, Luke's lightsaber or Anakin's lightsaber, but the original lightsaber. I would be willing to put down. If money was no option, I'd probably go as high as maybe I don't know, 10,000 if money was no option and I had that money.
Okay. Yeah.
But like realistically, I'd probably bid 1,000, and if it goes above that, I'll probably, someone else deserves it.
Would get it. Well, if money was no option, James, if money was no option,
then you could.
Yeah, no, I would get it. I would get that hat. What else? There's got to be a number 2 item for you.
A number 2 item. Number 3 for my case. Let's see. I would really like. No, you'd need. Okay, so one was a lightsaber. One was a statue. I would need something to have something to fill up the living room. I don't know. Maybe maybe the Millennium Falcon cockpit. I could actually have that set up in my studio, and I could do this via the cockpit. That'd be pretty sweet.
Okay. And something more contemporary, the other thing that I would bid on, that I think that I need to have, was that giant wheel of knives from Knives Out that you see in the background of that spectacular mansion. I was there, I saw it in person, and I need it. I want it. It's got for above my fireplace here. It might even be too big I think it's too big to fit in my living room. But it's this big, giant, spectacular wheel of knives. I gotta have it.
You know what? I'll take either. That's a very good pick. I would also thinking about it. If I can get a full replica of Iron Man's first suit in the original Iron Man, that'd be amazing. Or getting Cap's shield, like the original shield. That would be amazing. Hang that up on the wall. It'll look great in case the burglars come in. I'm protected.
Right. Hey, the wheel of knives can serve that purpose too. As long as you don't like as long as you don't grab the fake prop knife at the end, like happened at the end of the movie. Excellent picks, James. Excellent picks. What about you guys? What about you? If there was one movie prop that you could get your hands on, and if money was not an option, what would that prop be? And from what film would it be? Let us know.
So again, really cool thing. A24, they are not auctioning off the Millennium Falcon's cockpit, but they do have a list of things that you can find on A24's website. And again, 100% of the proceeds going to for one of 4 charities in New York. And we all know that they need it. They need whatever help they can get. And so a really cool thing coming from Hollywood. But yeah, I feel good about that.
Yeah, me too. Goes in there.
Yeah, goes Zendaya. Well, this was the Hub on Hollywood. I think this is episode 30, actually. This may be episode 30. Yeah, so we've been going and we're still trucking along. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 30 of the Hub on Hollywood. Again, if you are watching us on YouTube, you can also catch us on every major streaming service. Or if you are listening to us, you can also watch our beautiful faces. You can look at Nikki's beautiful, luscious hair. And, yeah.
And his artwork.
And also,
his artwork that he's been doing this entire... Look at that. It's a
masterpiece. Is that
what
is
fire?
that?
I don't know.
Is that Luke? Is that Anakin Skywalker on fire?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Anakin
Skywalker on fire, and then there go the legs. Yeah, for those of you listening to us on the podcast, check us out on YouTube if you want to see this dramatic portrayal here on our marker board. So
yeah, we're also on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Hub on Hollywood. Please give us a follow. Please give us a share. Like us, love us, gotta have us.
That's right. And send us some ice cream. We hope everybody is staying safe. And until next time, this is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm Jamie. I remembered my name.
I'm James. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye. Woo! Everybody, say bye.
Bye.